Hey,
Hello.
how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, thank you. Thank you for jumping on one day out. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm ready to eat.
I can imagine. It's been a very long prep.
Yes, it'll be, I think we're at 30 weeks now, or just over.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
It's gonna be worth it though. It's the Amateur Olympia.
fucking oath. Am I allowed to swear?
Yeah.
I'm so ready. No, it's been awesome. It's been such a ride. So yeah.
No, that's good. It's exciting times. Honestly, I think like being one of the biggest stages, it's always nice as an amateur, let alone, because it's the goal when you become a pro to reach that stage. So be able to, experience it is just an amazing time. And at least you get to also then be there for the actual Olympia.
Yeah, like even as an amateur, like there's so much opportunity to compete. Like, I think people get wrapped up in the whole pro card situation, but you can go all over the world as an amateur.
Yeah.
So I'm just, I'm so keen to just keep. I've already got plans on doing like Eastern Europe and stuff in the
Oh,
next couple of
awesome.
years.
That's
So
exciting.
yeah, it's just the whole world. Like I'm literally looking at like the desert in Vegas. I'm
Yeah.
like, there's just a whole world out there for amateurs and pros. So
Yeah.
yeah,
No, it's
it's
really it's really good to see like more athletes this year are finally taking the time to actually travel overseas because we are so limited in Oz with the shows we can do. So it's awesome to see, like you're saying, there is really so many shows throughout the year. So taking the opportunity to experience life as what it
mm,
would be like to be a pro, to travel and go do
mm,
those amateur shows and get those experiences under your belt is really important.
yeah, because I mean everyone's still paying for it at the end of the day, unless you're like a top
Yeah.
Olympian. It's not a poor man's sport at all.
That's right.
But yeah, so it's just I'm so grateful to be here and to be doing this. Like this was always the goal
Oh, yeah.
at the start. So yeah, it's just the stepping stones towards it and 30 weeks of grind. So
And it's time
yeah,
to show it all off.
yeah.
Awesome. So I will, like I said, I will just keep it real short today just because, I don't want to, you
Mm.
got stuff you got to get through, especially with being one day out. So it's just kind of more about how the prep's been and that. So we'll just kind of start from there and then a little fun question at the end. Interested to hear your opinion on that. So
Yeah,
first up, I just will go back to the Queensland State show, and I just wanted to kind of get your feeling of after that and the showing, as you may not have. I don't know if you wanted a particular placing or if it was more just to kind of get yourself back in the feeling of being on stage leading up to this show. So I just wanted to
yeah,
get your thoughts on that.
yeah. I think everyone, I think you're mad if you don't go in it wanting to win,
Yeah.
like not wanting to win. I've always wanted to do as well as I can possibly do. So I did place fifth in open,
Yeah.
um, which I was still so happy with the package that I brought on the day. It's just that's just the way it went.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I guess after the show, I felt a bit deflated. Just looking at kind of at where my physique is kind of developmentally, I guess,
Mhm.
in comparison to the girls that were placing in Australia.
Yeah.
But and thinking that I had to be like that I had to back off my training and be smaller,
Yeah. Yeah.
like which is essentially what we've done. We've got even leaner for this show, um, which is the goal
Mm.
anyway. And it is bikini, so I'm always just really focused on bringing exactly what they're looking for in
Yeah.
bikini, just my best version of
Version. Yeah. Yeah. What you can
yeah.
do. Yeah.
So it was a bit of a mental roller coaster after the Queensland show because I did have to reverse a bit
Yeah.
to then
Get
start
back
coming
into it.
out for this one. So I think the first 3 to 4 weeks. So we had I think about 8 weeks in between Queensland's and now. The first 4 weeks was rough. Like
Just to readjust.
yeah, because the show, like doing a show, just doing one show alone is just exhausting
Yeah.
and peaking and just all of that build up to the one thing and
Mm.
wanting to go hard for both. Like we didn't want to leave anything,
Yeah.
for either of them. So yeah, so it was just like finishing that off and then getting back on and going harder for the next one. It's just another it's another challenge. So I just
thrive a
kept
bit.
going.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've hit like so many new levels like in this prep that I didn't realize how like strong I could be, how resilient I could be, like because this is my second season like competing. So my first one I did really well as a novice. But now that I'm fully just an open bikini competitor, it's just like the
The pressure is on now.
yeah. So
No,
this one was always the goal. So
yeah.
to get here and be even like going through that just shit period just makes this
So much
even
sweeter.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really important to do more. Like, I guess if you haven't done multiple shows back to back, getting that experience of kind of what you can do gives you, like you're saying, allows you to realize, okay, I'm much stronger than I thought I am, especially when you give both shows. Because there's a lot of people that, oh, this was just a warm up, like, for example, didn't really peak properly for the state show because they wanted to give all to nationals. But I think you get a different type of rewarding feeling when you give the state show all you've got, and then you give the next show that you're doing all you've got. It's that so much like,
Yeah.
wow, I've really pushed hard for both and I've really come out and learned a lot. And I think it's really good
Yeah.
that you're able to experience this now, especially because as pros, when you make it there, a lot of people do shows back to back to back.
Mm.
And so even like Marlette, it's been really interesting to see, like, she did Japan, she did Hawaii, and then she won Hawaii, and now she's doing the Amateur Olympia. So like she's done four. So it's just, I can only imagine the hurdles and three different countries.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. So it's like it's such a personal thing. Like it's up to you how you want to go about it.
yeah,
And as long as you've got full trust in your coach and yourself. But yeah, for me, it's just aiming for the biggest show I can do and going 100% at that. Like it's all or nothing for me, whatever I'm doing. So I
and
don't
that's
want to I don't want to do shows that don't mean anything to me. Like, yeah, I pick shows based on how big they are and where I want to go and where I see myself. So
and it helps you really, one, see where you really place with the rest of the world, and two, it I think gives you the most experience because you're going into a competition which would be so seasoned, instead of maybe picking shows that are a bit not easier but not as many competitors, so you
yeah.
feel you don't have to put 100% in.
Yeah, and I don't really want to like jump around too much in places that I know my physique doesn't really match there. So like going to Japan where there's obviously a lot of Japanese competitors, they're smaller, like well, everyone's got a different perception of everything.
Yeah.
Bodybuilding. But yeah, going places that I know where my physique will stand strong
Yeah,
against the other competitors.
super
Um,
important.
yeah, so obviously seeing the NPC over here is just they're more developed conditioned girls, and that's what I aim for with my own physique. So I'm going to pick
Fit right
things
in. Yeah,
that match with me. So then when when I do get up on stage and wherever I land on the day, I'm still happy with
yeah.
what I've brought, no matter what. Like I've
That's the most
already
important
won
thing.
this prep. People say it all the time, like like I'm a winner, but like I truly feel like all the preps that I've done I've exceeded all my own expectations. So
And
yeah,
that's what it's about, really. Like the trophy is a bonus on top. It's just about
yeah,
feeling confident in what you've done and that you've put everything in, and that's what makes you a winner.
exactly. Yeah. It's nice to take home medals. Like it's a great feeling, but I think the personal, like it's got to be more internal than just, aiming for a card or aiming for a high placing. It's
Definitely.
just, yeah, you can't I'm all about things that are in your control. And if I can control all of the variables around me, then whatever else happens,
Happens, yeah.
that's just the universe doing its thing.
So my next question is, as you kind of said, that the Amateur Olympia was the plan. So that was the very beginning plan from the very beginning of the year. Um, why the choice to jump into states and not just solely focus on the Amateur Olympia? Is it because you need to qualify?
Yeah, so at the start of the year, I think it was in March, they announced that the NPC released all of the rules on
Yeah.
how to get, like, how to register and how to compete internationally. So if I had registered before March, I would have been able to just do the show. There's another bikini girl that's already there
Oh, really? Okay.
early enough. So that would have been ideal because then it would have just been the one show. But I was just a little bit late. I think it was when I started prep around May, June, which is when we were like, we actually sat down and looked at what we had to do to get here. So yeah, I had to do the state show, didn't have to do nationals.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just literally needed to step on stage to get here. So I was like, well, we're just
Got to do
going
it now.
and it was cool to get up at Queensland's again because it was the same, like, for my first show to have that comparison
Yeah.
of the progress that I'd made as, like, from a novice to an open competitor.
Yeah.
That was really, like, rewarding in that way. So
No, it was
yeah.
good to see. It was good to see because I remember you posting the picture of the comparison of both, even with the photo shoot, and it was just like such a big change. So
Yeah.
everyone would have been very supportive, and you just seeing the change yourself. I think it's very different from, necessarily hearing people going, "Wow, you've grown," or "Wow, you've changed," or this. But then when you actually physically can compare the two and see it yourself, it's just like, "Wow, I did it."
Yeah, because I think that's just been my, like, ultimate goal from the start with bodybuilding. It's like, yeah, the personal satisfaction of that progress, because I came from being quite an overweight girl to, yeah, just now being a competitive athlete. And it's
Such a change.
that's everyone aims for that
Yeah.
progression, like even the top people. So yeah, it's cool to see.
Exciting. So then moving from into this prep, what was kind of the game plan in those? So you had to reverse for 4 weeks and then the remaining 4 weeks, what was that? So it was just to get leaner than you were for state show? Like,
Yeah.
what was the overall game plan with Logan?
Yeah, so I sat down with Logan, my coach, and we essentially just decided right after Queensland's how we wanted to approach it. And I was happy with the package that I brought, but I just wanted to be obviously leaner, more conditioned, fuller, um, all of those things. So it was basically just recovering for those 3 or 4 weeks after that show, because I was actually sick in peak week, Queensland show. So it didn't do too much harm to my body, but I wasn't like in
100%.
100%. Yeah. So yeah, I just took the time that I needed to. Like, I just listened to my body and we just monitored things as we went, and then started putting food up a bit. And that's always, I guess, a struggle, doing the opposite of what you're kind of supposed to be doing.
Plays mind
So
games.
that was the first time I'd reversed like that. So that was a whole new kettle of fish. But getting past that has now put me in a really good place for my true reverse after this, because I know what to expect now, like with how I was feeling, and like your mind, your like body is literally just like, feed me, you need food. Like,
you gotta find that balance.
Push past that and get even leaner. It's just like you've kind of got to give your body a bit to get back. And that 4 weeks rest, I guess, that I took, like, I backed off my training and put my food up a fair bit, and it just put me in the best position to go even harder for this one. And then my body is just like, just watching it, like, it's very like consistency is everything. Like with me and my coach, it's
Yeah.
just what we do, skin folds and stuff every week. So it's all tracking those little bits of data. And as long as it's all moving in that direction, then
Thumbs up. Things are good.
yeah, there's no crazy protocols or anything like that. It's just consistency over a long period of time or however long we
Yeah.
need.
And that's how it should be, really. It should just be as long as you're tracking every little variable and you're consistent day after day after day, you're going to get the results you need. You don't need to do anything crazy.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, that's been the plan, and it's all just come
Cool.
together so nicely. And even with the travel here, I was feeling a little bit like, because I'd never obviously traveled internationally for a comp, so wondering what it would do to my body. But I think we got here like 10 days, like 8 or 9 days actually out from the comp. So many days in bodybuilder days.
Yeah. Very true.
To yeah, just rest. And once I got here, yeah, it was the same. My body was just like really happy. So it's been responding really well to everything, and now we're in the best place possible. So
It's awesome. That was kind of my next question. So I was going to ask how
yeah,
was, that transition of flying, because you always hear, oh, I held water or getting back on track or jet lag the first couple of days. And because I've seen a couple of other people who's competing have come in only just recently, the past 2-3 days. And I feel like that may not have been enough time needed for their body to adjust in comparison to you guys who kind of got there a week earlier.
yeah, my coach, he actually did this same show. It's where he turned pro.
Yeah, I remember I saw that. It was very exciting.
Yeah, so he's been over here heaps of times. So he's the best person
What
to
to do.
get it all with. Yeah. So he said minimum 5 days at least before the show. Which I think it's smart, because you're letting your body kind of go through the motions of, if you do hold any fluid and jet lag and all of that stuff, you can try and get back into a good routine within a few days. But as long as you've got an open mind and you're not stressing about the little things, which is so easy to do in prep, it's just pushing that aside and trusting that
Everything's going to be okay. Yeah.
and it's going to be fine. Yeah, because
smooth transition.
yeah, the more you get caught up in the little things, the more your cortisol is going up. Your body is just gonna
Freak out.
against you. So yeah, no, it was quite a smooth trip for me. Like the whole thing has been amazing.
No, it's really good to hear. I think it's very helpful when you have a coach who's also kind of been there, done that, so they can give you a device that's going to help you the most. And it sounds really had that game plan set in play. Like you and Logan seem to be, a really good athlete and coach relationship. So it's been a very smooth transition. So it's really exciting to hear that everything has kind of gone the way that you've wanted it to go. And I guess, like you're saying, it's made it a lot more fulfilling.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just when you've got just such a trust between the two of you, and then obviously his experience with all of it as well, it's just made it so easy. And just both the preps I've done with Logan, I think we've been working together about 4 years now. It's just constantly like
Evolving.
yeah, exactly. But then at the same time, like it's so simple. Like we're not doing anything crazy. It's like, right, we're in prep, we're back in off season. Like it's just smooth and there's no stress.
Yeah.
So I don't have to question anything, where I feel like people get really
antsy.
And and I think a lot of people are quite easy. Like it's easy for people to just jump around and I'm going to go with a new coach, and try 10 different coaches in the space of me having one coach or two. Like, it's just like it's a relationship. You've got to build
it. Yeah.
That relationship. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work and you move on. But
you got to give the time to like build that foundation, build the blocks, get the understandings, and then evaluate. Okay, yes, it's not working. We don't see eye to eye, or okay, we had a little bit of a hurdle, but now we're on the same page.
And I just found from the moment like I met Logan that we were like the same
Yeah.
human, like the same, we communicate the same way. So it's just been easy from the start. And so that's the ideal
Yeah,
situation, like
literally.
having literally like a second dad.
Yeah.
It's
Makes life
awesome.
easier.
Yeah.
So since being in, I guess, the States and leading up to the show, what has kind of been your highlights or the things that have stood out the most for you? Because I saw that you were in the Dragon's Lair the other day with Jade and that, and that's like my dream place to train. So
Oh,
jealous.
it's such a vibe. Like it's my kind of gym. It's
Yeah.
dark. It's well lit. Like music is awesome. Like it's like a bodybuilder's made it. So it's like
Yeah.
the absolute dream of any bodybuilder. Like um that's definitely been the highlight of the whole trip so far. Like when we went to Venice, I was at Gold's, and
Mm.
that's obviously the old school, the
Yeah.
classic. Um and it was quite busy. There's a few people. I met Charles
Yeah,
Glass.
I saw that.
Yeah, he's so lovely. Like it was just really cool just getting the vibe of LA and then now
Yeah.
being in Vegas and just how different it is. Like everything's just, I don't know, America just in general, everything's like on steroids. It's just
Yeah.
like the food, the shops, like it's just crazy. So I feel really like at home here. Like if I was actually to move here and prep here, I feel like it would be
Yeah.
really cool. And there's so much like to do.
Yeah.
Like I can just fly to Texas or fly to New York
Go
and
wherever.
it's yeah, it's opportunities.
I know what you mean. I've always kind of felt that too. I'm like, I, I like Australia, but I'm always kind of like, I feel like I would fit better in America with kind of everything that they have to offer and the things that I like, in that it's a lot more accessible in comparison
Yeah,
to, here. So I get what
exactly.
you're trying to say.
We're like on an island in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So it's just like it'd be perfect if Australia was like in Europe because
Yeah.
then it'd be closer
Be a
to
lot
everywhere
easier.
else. But it is what it is. I still love the Gold Coast and where I'm at home, but
Yeah.
I'm like now that we're able to travel and do all of this, which was my goal after my first comp was to
Mhm.
actually get out and travel. So doing it in this way is even better.
Making
And
dreams
so
come true.
yeah, literally just like now I'm just in the way of a comeback. Okay, so after this is over, I can come back home, set a new plan, which is pretty much already in place for the off season, and
Yeah.
then the next show,
Travel again.
yeah,
Very,
and
very
do
exciting.
yeah, even more. So yeah,
And that's awesome. When did you end up seeing Flex or any of the because I know that there've been quite a few competitors, open bodybuilders, and even like Jed's been
yeah,
training at
I
Dragon's Lair.
saw. Yeah, so I've seen a couple of the couple of girls doing bikini as
Mm.
well. There's a girl, Jazzy Fit, she's
Yeah.
from Dark Sport. I saw her there yesterday, and then didn't see Flex Lewis yet. He's not, I think he's hiding.
Riding around. Yeah.
But who have I seen? Raphael Brandau. He's
Yeah,
one of
he
my
looks crazy.
favorite open
Yeah.
bodybuilders. Like I love open bodybuilders with classic lines.
Yeah.
Like they're just he's so aesthetic. So it was really cool seeing him and just being around everyone. Like I saw Maureen, she's one of the Olympian bikini
Yeah.
girls, and she was training, and I didn't want to interrupt her, and I was just like, oh my god. It's just such a vibe being around people that are so
In love with
um
what you're doing. Yeah.
yeah,
It's
and
kind of
just
like,
everyone boat really just
yeah. It's
yeah,
especially like there would be no better time to go somewhere like that than the Olympia, because you're in Vegas, it's held in Vegas, and it's just like
yeah,
everyone's going to be there. So like what you're saying, you're in this environment which you're going to thrive off more, and then you're seeing everybody that you look up to, and it's just would be the best environment. Like there would be nothing
it's
quite like it.
yeah, and that's part of why I wanted to come here and do the show as well, because I get to go to the Olympia as
Mhm.
well after it.
Such a
Um,
bonus.
which is, yeah, that's another dream. So it's just like ticking off so many things in 1 year. And it just makes the whole, like I guess the struggle and that in prep, it's
But
just all so worth it, because the end result, not just getting on stage, but getting to like experience all of this, and network. And I've already, even like just on through social media, the connections that I've made, just talking to like fucking like Derek Lunsford and Keon and Charles Griffin, like people that I like. I love bodybuilding, so that's just how I got into it. So just connecting with all these people and being able to like say hey and hang out like now is just dream.
a big blessing to make
Yeah.
that. I think a lot of I feel like I understand it's expensive. It's definitely not, it's not a poor man's sport, but at the same time, if it's something that you love so much, sometimes you have to, invest in yourself, make those sacrifices. And, like you're saying, in return, not I feel like not enough Australian athletes take the time to travel. And hopefully with how many we've seen this year, it will continue to do that as the years go, because you get opportunities like this, you get a network, you get to meet your idols, and it's just really just can become ticking dreams off, blessings after blessings. You don't know who you may meet, something may turn out well. So yeah, it's awesome to see you kind of chasing your dreams. I remember you posted the other day, and it was like your goals for 2022, and you'd almost like ticked all of them off. And like that's nothing more motivating than that, seeing someone who's able to follow through with what they want to get done and get it done.
I feel like you can say, like, people can say, like, and post all the motivational quotes that they want. But if you're not really just doing it like every single day, no matter what, like, you're not going to get there. Like, it's just going to constantly be a dream and not a reality. So I feel like that's something that I've always had, is just, I'm going to make this shit happen, like, no matter what. So, and you're never going to get, the time back.
Yeah.
So, and like, I think if people are worried about money and all of those things, there's so much opportunity to like, to do what you love. Like for me, it was going from full-time nursing in a hospital to doing the photography that was a hobby that's now my full-time, and aligning that with bodybuilding. So then I could make this happen.
All work and click together.
Yeah. So it all just falls in line. Like, it'll be so cool to have my camera at the Olympia and just, yeah.
Do
Like,
some
we're going down to Red Joe today, so that's in a few hours, and we'll be picking up a press pass for the Olympia.
Oh,
So
awesome.
yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
So two more questions before we wrap things up. First one is, who do you think is going to take away the title? Do you think Jen's going to go back to back, or do you think Laura Lee may be able to edge her out?
It's such a tough one, because they both look so amazing right now. And it's so cool to see the bikini girls looking jacked and conditioned, like, because that's always my goal. And like, that's what I love about, bodybuilding in general. So I've always, like, this year in particular, I've been looking at both of them, but Jen is just stand out to me. Just with how she's improved from last year as well, and just kind of, I don't know, her attitude, the way she goes about it. Both of them are incredible, but I have my money on Jen.
Yeah. I haven't really given Jen enough attention, so I haven't necessarily seen those things that you're talking about. And because she didn't do a show, did she, throughout the whole year?
No, and I really like that about her as well, because I'm a fan of taking as much time off and aiming for the big one rather than
doing little ones in between.
Yeah. So the fact that she's done that, and it shows how much she's progressed in herself. I think, I've like related that back to my own, like, how I like to approach things. And that's a really good way, I guess, of being a role model for the sport
Definitely
as well,
yeah,
to pull back and not just do shows for the sake of doing shows.
definitely.
Yeah, I really align with what Jen is doing and how she's coming
Not
into
a
this
bad,
show.
yeah.
So,
It's exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing who, I'm personally, I'm a Lorelei fan, but I would like to, I wouldn't mind even if Jen wins again. So I'm interested to see how it all kind of pans out
yeah,
and follows through. Both amazing athletes.
Laura Lee is like the people's champ. She's
Yeah.
always everyone's favorite. And I love, like, her glutes are insane. Like, her physique is insane.
Yeah.
Like, and she works hard. So it's going to be, this whole Olympia is going to
Oh,
be crazy.
nothing. I don't think there's been a show like this in quite some time. Like,
Yeah. The
it's gonna be
amount
crazy.
of, yeah, the amount of competitors, like, and just looking at, like, if you look at the open
Oh,
bodybuilders and like Derek and
how do you
just
even choose a top 10?
literally, it's it's going to be wild. So yeah, I'm so keen to see how everyone pulls up.
It's gonna be awesome. Last question, and then I'll let you get back to what you got to do. Are we going to be seeing? Because I've loved your YouTube channel, bringing your own aesthetic across into that channel. So I really enjoyed seeing that, and so I was just wondering, are we going to be getting a Vegas style? Have you been filming or like a show day for the Amateur Olympia?
Because I got, it's been hard the last few weeks of prep to
Yeah,
keep up the videos that I was doing. Yeah, I think I was about 3-4 weeks out when I started doing the YouTube. I still had a bit of life in me when I was doing that. So I've taken snippets of things here and there. And I'm hoping to do a bit more. Like, I got a really good response from the last one that I did, which was more like a day in the life.
yeah,
I literally just used my phone because I've got the new iPhone Pro Max. It's pretty much like a professional
camera.
camera
Yeah.
in a phone. It's going to put me out of a job. But yeah, so I've been doing a bit of filming. I've done some like vlogging kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
they've been cool. I've liked them.
Yeah, so I've done a bit in LA, and I've taken some as we've come into Vegas as well. But yeah, I did my last session at Dragon's Lair last night.
Yeah,
And Nay, she's here as well. She's
yeah.
shooting um at the Olympia, and she'll be doing some stage shots
Oh,
at the
awesome.
Amateur as well. So yeah, she got some clips and stuff of me at Dragon's Lair training, which I looked at the clips just before, they
Yeah.
look amazing. So
Might see a
yeah.
little mashup then when you get home.
Yeah, it'll be like a bit of a montage kind of stuff, which I like doing
Yeah, it'd
anyway.
be
It just
cool.
keeps it cool, keeps it interesting. It's not just
And you
30
can
minutes
still
of one exercise.
exactly. You can still add your style to it, in that
Yeah.
montage style. So no, it'll be exciting to see. Well, thank you
Mhm.
so much for joining me. I'm very excited. I hope everything goes smoothly, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on stage. Thank you for joining me again.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Pleasure. Have a great rest of the day.
Thank you. Bye.